Let's do some news lowlights. Actually, this one is a highlight. This one makes me happy because Elon Musk is probably having a terrible, no good, very bad day. So this is out of The Guardian talking about Tesla sales. They are in a slump. They have plummeted off of a cliff out in Europe. Yay, he deserves it. The April numbers for Tesla, they're half of last year April numbers. Yay, good job. All right, it says sales of new Tesla electric cars are sliding across Europe, data suggests, amid a political backlash against its billionaire chief executive, elongated Musk rat. The figures from the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, ACEA, show registrations for new Teslas halved in April compared to the same month a year earlier, despite a broader rise in battery electric vehicles overall. The electric car maker faces widespread backlash against Musk's political ties to Trump and vocal support for a far-right Alternative für Deutschland, or AfD, party. Russ Meld of the investment broker AJ Bell says the drop in registration suggests the brand damage caused by elongated Musk's political interventions may be lasting. The company may also be suffering from its lack of tire print in the hybrid market, with many motorists still wary of going fully electric. According to the latest snapshot, the ACEA said Tesla registrations fell from 14,228 in April of 2024 to 7,261 last month. I think that y'all could get this number lower. A decline of 49% in the EU, the UK, and the broader European Trade Association bloc, which consists of Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. However, overall battery electric car sales rose by 27.8% in April, compared with a 22.4% drop in petrol cars and a 24.7% drop in diesel cars. Sales of plug-in hybrid cars rose by 31.3%. Total car registrations rose for most Chinese state-owned manufacturers, SAIC, owner of the British brand MG, and the Chinese car maker Mitsubishi. I didn't know Mitsubishi was still in business. Good for them. And good for everybody that's not Tesla that's seeing an increase. Now let's look at some of these shady pardons from Trump. Let's not act like he is not making all kinds of money while in office. Trump pardoned man 1 month after mother attended a $1 million per person fundraiser. Like, if this was anybody else, the Republicans would be like clamoring for impeachment, but they're letting this man do whatever the hell he wants. He's making all kind of money while in office. Trump pardoned Paul Walczak, a man who had pleaded guilty to tax crimes 1 month after his mother attended a major fundraiser for the president, according to a new report from the New York Times. The Times reports that a pardon application submitted around Trump's inauguration cited efforts by Walczak's mother, Elizabeth Fago, to support Trump and other Republicans, and contended that Fago's political activity motivated Walczak's criminal prosecution. Fago later attended a Mar-a-Lago fundraising dinner with a $1 million cost per person, according to the Times, and Walczak was pardoned less than 3 weeks later. The new report about the timing of Trump's pardon comes amid scrutiny over his clemency moves since returning to the Oval Office, including his controversial pardoning of nearly all January 6 defendants, roughly 1,500 people charged in connection with the 2021 Capitol attack on his first day back in the White House. Walczak had pleaded guilty back in November, shortly after Trump's election, to not paying employment taxes and not filing his individual income tax returns, according to the DOJ. He withheld nearly $7.5 million in taxes from workers at his healthcare companies, but did not pay those over to the IRS, the DOJ said, among other issues. This man fits perfectly with the whole Trump administration. Trump is a legal felon as well. Trump sits up here and does this kind of thing, so it makes sense why he would pardon him. He's amongst good company as far as criminals go. In early April, the Floridian was sentenced to 18 months in prison and 2 years of supervised release. And he was ordered to pay more than $4 million in restitution. He had to pay back the money that he owed. His pardon spares him both from serving time and paying the fees. So regular schmegular people have to pay taxes. These wealthy people do not have to pay taxes. I really hope that MAGA people see how he treats the wealthy people. According to the Times, Fago had helped host at least 3 Trump fundraisers and attended events at both Trump's inaugurations. She was also reportedly linked in Walcheck's pardon application to a push to publicize the diary of the former Biden's daughter during the 2020 cycle. Okay, we see. She is just definitely extra, extra MAGA. Okay. Here's another shady Trump pardon. Trump pardons former sheriff convicted of bribery. He likes these people. He likes these people that do financial crimes. The Republican Party is just the party of felons. They like felons, especially the alabaster kind. All right, so Trump has issued a pardon to a former Virginia sheriff who was convicted on fraud and bribery charges. A jury found former Culpeper County Sheriff Scott Jenkins guilty of accepting more than $75,000 in bribes last December in exchange for making several businessmen into law enforcement officers without them being trained. So he's sitting up here deputizing people. Jenkins, a longtime supporter of Trump, was sentenced in March to 10 years in prison. He was set to report to jail on Tuesday, but due to Trump's pardon, he will not spend a single day behind bars. These people love felons within the Trump administration. Sheriff Scott Jenkins, his wife Patricia, and their family have been dragged through hell, Trump wrote in a post on his Truth Social network. Trump said Jenkins was the victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice. The judge who presided over Jenkins' case, Robert Ballou, was appointed by former President Joe Biden, but it was a jury trial. Trump called Jenkins a wonderful person who was persecuted by radical left monsters and left for dead. The thing is, now MAGA people know that they can go out and commit crimes, and Trump might pardon them. That's where we are in today's society. It says, Trump called Jenkins a wonderful person who was persecuted. Oh, I already said that part. Jenkins was found guilty of 1 count of conspiracy, 4 counts of honest service fraud, and 7 counts of bribery concerning programs receiving federal funds. Prosecutors said he accepted bribes from 8 people, including 2 undercover FBI agents. These were in the form of cash and campaign contributions. Jenkins' position was an elected one. Now let's move on to Trump's erratic trade policy. You put the tariffs on, you take the tariffs off, you put the tariffs on, and then you shake it and everybody doesn't know what's going on with the economy. Is going up and down and we all around and oh my gosh, where are we now? Who knows? Okay, inside Trump's 72-hour EU trade whiplash, because last I heard it was 50% on EU. So let's see where we are right now. Trump stunned European officials and caught some of his own senior advisors off guard with his snap decision Friday to reignite his market-rattling trade war with the European Union. 3 days later, he got exactly what he wanted. I have just been informed that the EU has called to quickly establish meeting dates. Trump posted Tuesday on his Truth Social account, calling it a positive event. I accidentally called it Truth Social. This is Lie Social. All he does is lie, lie, lie. But he probably does have a call. I wonder what will happen. The journey from Trump's threat to slap 50% tariffs on EU imports to his pause on that threat Sunday reshapes the process for trade negotiations that have become a growing irritant inside the White House, according to 2 people familiar with the matter. There was agreement among Trump administration officials that the EU trade talks needed to be shaken up. What exactly that would entail and when it was coming was Trump's domain. We expected it, National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett told CNN of Trump's broadside. In the end, the president makes up his mind, and he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. He makes up his mind in the middle of the night. He just blurts out stuff, and then everybody has to figure out how to fix it or clean up his mess. Top Trump administration officials privately warned their EU counterparts in recent weeks that the plodding pace of trade talks between the U.S. and the 27 country bloc had become a significant problem. But there was never an explicit threat or new deadline, including in those warnings, according to 3 European diplomats. The EU had a process, and despite the methodical and time-consuming nature of that process, plotting is simply how trade negotiations work. The U.S. side had its own issues in their view. The European negotiators were making unreasonable demands and lacked clarity about what the outlines of an acceptable proposal would look like. Who knows what's acceptable in the eyes of unhinged Trump?